If you have a lot of good qualities, and assuming you've given the narcissist a taste of your good qualities before, chances are they're going to want you to stick around, at least for as long as they can still reap some benefit from the good things you have to offer. But there's one key string attached to all this, which is they do want to keep you around. They do want to make the best of the things you have on offer, but you do need to stay in line. You need to stay in line in a way that you don't injure them. And that's a balance that narcissists are always carefully trying to strike with new people into their lives, or even people who have been in their lives for some time. People who have something good to offer in which they enjoy, but at the same time, they don't want to feel that they're getting the bad end of the stick with the relationship. They don't want to feel like the other person's getting a better deal than them. So what they try to do is they try to keep you in line. They try to keep you in a certain zone where they can take more from you than you can take from them. Because narcissists have very limited reserves. They're always sponging off other people, whether it's people's energy, goodwill, favors. It could be more tangible things like financial assistance. They could use you for your money, use you for your social connections. But the bottom line is they want to make good use of anything that you have to offer, but they want to make sure that it doesn't flow in the opposite direction, at least not very much. And one of the ways where they manage to keep that dynamic in balance from their perspective is they use certain tools to keep you from wanting too much, expecting too much, asking for too much. And one of the key tools is passive aggression. And what that means is, if narcissists always call you up when they need help, or they need advice, or they need help, or they need you to give them, maybe lend them some money, or if it's an intimate setting, maybe they want to use you for your body for sexual pleasures. The moment you start reciprocating that, you start calling them when you need something, or when you want help, or when you want company, when you start asking them for a lot of favors, they can quickly become a bit snappy, or they can come across in their responses a bit cold, a bit stone cold, maybe having that stone cold look, even if they don't tell you off. They can come across a bit passive aggressive in their demeanor. And basically what they're doing is they're teaching you to be off-put from wanting to ever ask anything from them. But they've trained you to always be open to receiving their line of call when they want you. So some people would say it's just double standards. And yeah, that's one way of looking at it. It is double standards. But with narcissists, everything is, isn't it? So they look to put you in that position where wherever they need you, wherever they need your support of any kind, or just stroking their ego, if it be just that you make yourself available to them, that you're willing to deliver. But when you need them, they're not there. They're not reliable. And if you don't get the message initially, if you try to engage them, but they're not really happy with it, they'll come across very passive-aggressively, a bit cold, may even punish you lightly here or there to prevent you from trying to ask favors from them in the future again. And the thing is, so many people who've been in this dynamic with the narcissist for a long time, because narcissists tend to target people who are more giving in nature, who have this nurturing aspect about themselves, who can even be a bit self-sacrificing. Even though you might realize what's happening, you might realize it's an unfair exchange, you still go on with it because part of you, in a way, it's just your nature. And narcissists, they really sponge off of, they really target people who have those characteristics, being, self-sacrificing, giving, nurturing, and who have good qualities on top of that, because that's the perfect combination for the narcissist. There's stuff there that they can take and use, and the person's probably willing to give it because it's in their nature. So they use you, and they use you again. And then it's really hard to shake them off because you've become an important supply figure for them. There may be other people in their lives that perform similar roles, or even slightly different roles, but similar conceptually. But, you know, from the narcissist perspective, they can just keep that going because they're having their needs met. And at the beginning, you might find yourself being pleased and happy with it because you like to give, you like to help people. But over time, it just drains you. It drains you because they take and they don't give back. They drain you so much that not only do you feel unhappy with them and in the interactions with them, and not only do you feel unhappy when you're thinking about them, but also other areas of your life start to suffer. You realize you don't have the same level of energy to give to other people in your life who are healthy for you, other projects, because narcissists take so much that there's little left in other parts of your life. And again, if narcissists can keep you really drained, kind of keep you weakened because you're giving them everything you have on offer, they really like that. They really like the idea that people give their all to them. You know, narcissists like to absorb everything that people have on offer. It's what fuels them. And they have their ways of doing it very cleverly, and it's very effective. With not necessarily with everybody, but for people who they deem to be good targets, it's very effective. It tends to be very effective. So it's almost a pattern to be expected, because at the beginning, you find yourself almost just over the moon, really, that somebody's eating up and just enjoying your attention and your support so much. But that quickly goes from being something that pleases you to something that drains you. And then it's difficult to disconnect from that. But it's not only a matter about disconnecting from it. Sometimes it takes a long time for you to realize that that is a toxic relationship dynamic. It can take a long time to realize that, sometimes even years. And again, narcissists, when they use people, they do it in such a way where people can't always put their finger on exactly how the narcissist is managing to drain the energy from them. But over time, it becomes clear that they're just a toxic person who's just leeching off you and everything you have to offer. So just, if you are one of those kind of self-sacrificial, nurturing, selfless types who tends to do a lot for a lot of people, and if you have like a good, if you carry a good energy about yourself on top of that, just be careful, because that's the exact set of traits that people like narcissists look for in people. And if you do find yourself feeling drained, uneasy, unsettled with some relationship dynamic with somebody, just don't be afraid to call a spade a spade. If it feels off, it probably is, and then you might realize it's time for you to detach from that relationship.